What's up, guys? How's it going?
Welcome back to another Tuesday Night Live. We're super excited for it. It's honorary episode 69 for Dustin, but it's actually 68. But we're excited to have Dustin on DWCC USA. Check him out. I want to say on all platforms, right?
TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah, there you guys go. Checking him out. He's got some awesome videos. I know you're rebranding your podcast. I know you have a lot of awesome people on there. Do you want to just talk about that for the first couple minutes?
Yeah, the podcast coming back. It's the choices made. We changed it from the Cocky Kulo show to kind of just simmer it down a little bit. I felt that the Cocky Kulo show was just a little abrasive for what we were talking about, and so I figured the choices made because what do we do every day? We make choices. So let's talk
Yes.
about the choices we make.
I love it. I know
But
we were talking backstage about mental health and all that stuff. So I'm really excited to see where the choices made goes and just to see who you have on, but also just to break down those barriers because, backstage we were talking about how, a lot of men's mental illness gets kind of scaped over a little bit or glazed over. So it's good to bring awareness to that in general.
Well, I think the expectation that a man has, for his family alone is the pressure where if you don't talk about certain things and you don't get certain things out, or maybe even hear of another way of doing something, a lot of guys struggle. And what's the one way out is what happens most. And if we can
Yeah.
if we can reach one person out of all of the followers we have and get to that person and talk to them and help them. And it correlates with fishing too. Mental health is People think mental health is like a bad thing, like, oh, you got issues or you got something wrong up here. And it's like, no, mental health is just like physical health is what are you absorbing? What are you taking in? What are you working out with? Right. But what is your brain working out with? Are you watching nothing but junk? Or are you watching something that's beneficial that might help you in your life?
You know, Something that potentially is not used enough is the not interested button on Instagram. The amount of times that I have to click that a day, just not interested, not interested, not interested. You have to, it's exactly what you're saying. It's like what you intake is also kind of what you're going to output, but you got to be vigilant on what, even a 10-second video, even those 10 seconds, but 10 or 20 of those turns into real meaty time. So that's something that I'm always looking out for. But my dad is a huge component on make your mind your friend. And once you can do that, life's substantially happier and better in general.
Well, you got to love yourself. Most people don't even realize if I asked you one simple question, name everybody in your life right now that you love. How long would it take for you, if possible, to name yourself?
It's usually not it's never gonna be you first, right?
But
You're
why
never
not? It
gonna
should
say,
be.
"Oh, me, this person, this is." It's like you start naming people,
That
right?
was
But
that was eye
but let me
opening
ask.
because I
But
I do love myself, but I would never put myself on that list.
okay,
That's
so
crazy.
if a plane lost oxygen, what do they tell you?
You
Who
first
you
before
you
helping anyone
first?
else.
Mhm.
Oh, if you don't help yourself first, if you don't love yourself, how can you love anybody else? If you don't know how to love yourself, how do you know what love is?
It's
Yeah.
absolutely true. And
So that's the
Y-
podcast. That's where we're going. It's just to kind of
Oh,
I love it. That's a
boom!
great
That's what it's
opening too.
about.
That's
Welcome,
strong.
guys. Welcome.
let's do it.
Well,
Let's do it.
we like to start off. Anything you have going on? Are you gonna be at Tackle Meet? Are you not gonna be at Tackle Meet?
I'm going to be at Tackle Express. I committed to that
There you
before
go.
Tackle
Okay,
Meet
yeah.
was established, and so I got invited to that. We're going to head out there and go hang out at. But otherwise, I'd be at Tackle Express or Tackle Meet. Yeah, I
Okay.
love
So
Steve.
So you.
that brings it up. That's a good point. So Tackle Express, the 15th is having their own event. I believe John from Stay Bent is hosting that. They have a
Yep.
lot of good vendors out there. Tackle Meet also on the 15th. Uh, Santa Clarita is Tackle Express, and then San Pedro, totally opposite directions. Maybe you can hit them both. Maybe you don't. I don't know. That's a lot of gas. But whichever one you're closest to, whichever one you want to go support and just go check out, they're going to be awesome. I know there's going to be awesome vendors at both of them. I am actually going to be float tubing that day, so I'm not going to be present at any of them, but love them both, support them both. Wherever you're at, say hi to them from me, and all that. So yeah, I think that's the kind of the
That's
last bit of events for the year, in all honesty.
Yeah, I think Tackle Meet and the Tackle Express and the toy drive's coming up. I think Rillin and Rich will be having his on the 14th,
Oh,
right?
interesting. I was just about to mention that. I didn't know what day it was. So
Yeah, it's on the
cool.
14th.
Reeling with Rich. Check him out on Instagram if you're interested in that. That is Lake Balboa. No, I want to say Ventura.
Venice, Venice, Van Nuys,
Venice.
like
Thank
Van
you.
Nuys.
So the couple events
Well, like
this
the Valley, the Valley.
yeah, this upcoming weekend should be fun. I'm excited to see all the pictures and all the posts from it. I'm not going to be present at any of them. I'm going float tubing on Sunday. Hopefully, I can get a video out for you guys on YouTube. But other than that, let's jump into it. Charly, I feel like you've been fishing lately.
I did. I fished Friday and I fished Sunday. Friday was very slow. I caught a nice sand bass from shore. I went lower than I usually go on weight because I'm usually throwing half ounce to like up. This time I threw a quarter ounce and it paid off. I fished a low tide. I've been hearing a lot of like downsizing your weight when the tide is low, especially when you're around like dock areas.
I can attest to
It's
that.
it's a good thing to. I don't drop the line weight, but I dropped the weight on my
The weight size, yeah.
the weight size. Thank you. And
Yeah,
then
we
Sunday we hit
both got.
we both got some nice sand bass.
I know. Right place, right time. There was a little eddy going right under the dock. Pushed my slug under the dock, dude. 20, at
Nice.
least 20 inches within that 3 to 4 pound range. I thought it was everything but a sand bass. I was like, oh, dude, this is a striper. This is a halibut. This is the world's biggest spotty. And then I bounced it, and I was like, I'm still stoked on it. It's a big sand
And then
bass.
Sunday we hit MDR with Ben and Boondock Baits, and it was pretty cool, man. We fished the wall, we fished spotties, no spotties. We went back to the wall, and I caught a nice 3-pound calico.
Nice. Dustin, have you done any fishing lately?
I think like last Monday I went down to San Diego Bay and that was just an absolute train wreck. I think I caught 2 fish the whole day. It was outgoing tide that went into a slack tide that felt like it stayed slack tide, and I tried fishing every dock and piling there was, and I couldn't make anything work. So for me, like, and it's funny to me, I'm probably the most inexperienced fisher person that you've ever had on this show so far. And I tell people this on purpose. I'm not a fisherman. I enjoy fishing.
There you
That's
go.
I am not your fisherman. I was watching some of your guys' episodes earlier to kind of just see what the presence is, while you guys are talking and stuff, and you guys are like, oh, 7'6", and talking size of rods and this and that. And I'm like, I'm sitting here going like, I don't even know what fucking size. Can I cuss on here? Are we cuss?
Yeah, you're more than welcome to.
Okay, well that's how I cuss so I don't punch people. I feel like I have to break something if I don't say
Well,
a
let's
cuss
keep it
word.
to
So
let's keep it to a minimum because kids
okay,
do watch
I'm gonna
this.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna work on that. So we can edit that out. So yeah, so I don't even know what size my rods are. I don't know what's what. All I know is that I throw a reel on one and I go out and I toss a specific bait in a certain area and I'm catching fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like
in all,
it's
we love talking to everybody on the spectrum of fishing, but just everybody has something to bring to the table, especially for these lives. I mean, you alone do a whole bunch of stuff for the community, so that's what's going to be fun. We're going to chit chat about that, but it's good to showcase different levels of experience to help build confidence, but also just that stokedness in people to go out. You don't need to be an expert to go fishing in general. I mean, a lot of people just like being out on the water, spending time
Were you fishing
outside.
on your kayak?
Yeah, I took the kayak out with I don't know if you know Uncle Dan,
Yes. He just got
fishing
rid
with
of his
Uncle Dan.
kayak. Did he get
Yeah,
another
but
one?
he's getting a motorized he's cheating now. So it's almost like a kayak, but it's like motorized. And yeah,
Is it
he's
a the Scout
is that what I don't,
Scout
man, I
360?
couldn't even tell. I couldn't even tell you. All I know is it's he's stoked about it, and he's gonna be able to tie up to my kayak and pull me. Because we launched
It's
it.
gonna be a game changer.
We launched at Shelter, right? And I got two bad knees from the military. I mean, I'm messed up head to toe, but my knees are pretty jacked up, and so I can hang out around there and cruise around a little bit. But he took me around out to where there's a sandwich shop in the cut, way, way, way in the back, bro. And I was about done. I was like, yo, dude, like the wind's hitting me in the face, it's pushing me back. I'm not feeling this. Like, I'm just over it. I'm out of here. But we had a good
Yeah,
day.
I
It was fun.
I saw that he sold his kayak. He was part of the what was it called? The Ninja
Oh, the
oh yeah, yeah.
Yak
yak
Ninjas? The
yak
Yak
ninjas.
Ninjas? Yeah, Yak
Yeah,
Ninjas.
Yeah, that's a pretty predominant San Diego group right there. They're good kayakers and good fishermen too. There's a
good
lot of
group of
cool guys
dudes.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
group of dudes.
yeah.
You know,
I
you
did
guys were talking about going out and just the art of going out. Our last veterans trip we did November 8th. What I do is I book the Malahini now twice a year, and
okay.
we were able to cover through my business 15 spots at a half cost rate for veterans because I'm done with the free trips. I've had too many guys cancel on me and wasted my time and wasted spots. And so you got to put a little bit of skin in the game, but at the same time, it's a half off spot. But I didn't fish. That whole trip I went out there, man, I was literally just like,
Chilling.
because I didn't have to drive the boat. I didn't have to find the fish. I didn't have to, there was deckhands. There was a dude cooking burgers. All I was doing just had a camera and I was just like, oh, this is dope. Oh, this is what it's about.
That's life.
Absolutely. I worked on a whale watching boat. I want to say for like 5 years. I don't know. It was a good chunk of time. Not a fishing pole inside. I mean, I would fish a little bit before and potentially a little bit afterwards. But I mean, just being out on the water is therapeutic.
So there's actually a study on that, right? That says just seeing water brings this like it gives you this euphoric feeling, right? Just the fact that you see water out in the open, it gives you this sense of like, oh, like oh, there's water, right?
I mean, I especially if you're Californian. I mean, I grew up half merman. I swam my whole entire life. I was a lifeguard a good chunk of it. I fish, from head to toe. I've done river cleanups in Yosemite. I mean, water is a huge part of my life. So you're not wrong. Seeing water to me is I'm like, ooh, what can I do in it? Can I swim in it? Can I fish in it? Can I boat on it? Can I flow tube in it? So
I
So
like seeing a
Dustin,
little
so
stream come out of the mountain, bro. I'll sit there and look at a little drip,
you could
a little
you could watch it all
funnel of
day,
water.
man. I'm telling you, it's a feeling that you get driving on the freeway.
Yeah,
You see this little pond in the side of the road, and you're like, it gives you this like nice feeling, right?
yeah,
But
I
one
feel
of
you.
one of my
what you're
favorite
go for it.
spots to be. Yeah, sorry, Charlie. One of my favorite spots to be. You got your waders on. You're in the middle of a stream, and it's just bushes off to the side of you. You got nothing, and just a mountain, and it's like the sun's rising, and you're just there. There's
I'm
no
down.
there's no external sound. There's no cars. There's no people. There's nothing going on. It's just the wind in the bushes, and the fishing pole in your hand. And sometimes I'll just stand there and I'll just like soak it in.
Wait, let me
Yeah, it's
no, my schedule's clear tomorrow.
Let's go.
so
That's all I
so
heard.
how did your company start? Like what was the drive between what was your drive to start this? Like to start what you
I
do?
I retired in 2014. That medically, and I was dealing with my own issues mentally, physically, um, spiritually, you name it. I was going through it, and when you're told that you're so jacked up that basically you can't work anymore, it's kind of a kick to the nuts as a man. you know, and I was infantry in the Marine Corps. So to tell someone like that you just can't anymore, it's like, well, watch me. And they're like, well, watch
Yeah.
us kick you out of here. Like you're retired now. So,
Oh,
um,
Jeez.
and so I was just basically sitting at the house, and I had my dark times, I had my good times, and one day one of my neighbors was like, "Hey man," he's like, "Have you ever been fishing?" I think he knew I was in a rut, and I said, "No, I've never been." He's like, "Come on, I'm gonna take you out." He had a 24-foot center console. We went out and then we fished. I want to say we fished the backside of Catalina that first time, and it was rough, man. Oh, I got so sick. It was just bad. It was all bad. But I felt something. I was like, hey,
mm-hmm.
there's something about this that, yeah, even though I got really, really, really sick, I was like, there's something about this. And so I just pushed through it, kept going, put the patch, the bracelets, the pills, the ginger, what fucking freaking, sorry, edit that out. The, what's the drink called? The ginger ale. I mean, I
Yeah.
tried everything under the sun and until I bought my boat, and that's where everything changed, where I didn't get seasick. But the start of this was I was in a dark spot, and he took me out, and so I was like, well, how much is this fishing stuff? And then once I realized how much it is to go out on a boat, I was like, oh my gosh, this is basically impossible. I can't raise this money as not being a nonprofit, and you know, it's just expensive. And that's when I met Ryan from Slay Day. We basically had dinner one night, we kissed each other, and then that was the beginning of our relationship. Was
Ryan's an
he
awesome dude.
Yeah, he gave us an affordable monthly price to where I could meet that goal. And then I said, well, how can I raise money? What is something that I could do that's going to be where I can't just ask for money? It's going to be tangible. It's an exchange. I said, well,
Yeah.
let's start a clothing line. And so that's where the hats, the shirts, the hoodies, the jackets all stemmed from, and it's just kind of grown from there.
So it's always been, you've always had it like that, like 50% of your stuff goes to fund like trips.
Well, I say 50%. It's been probably 150%. I have personally paid a lot of money to do this. You know, I bought the boat. It was a $60,000 boat. I paid for that personally. That wasn't money that came out. The only money that was used was to fund the trips, the
Yeah.
cost. Um, yeah, so it's my wife told me, she's like, this year right here, it has to be 100% paid for, the 100%. And that's why I went to the 50%, you know, cost to the veteran to alleviate the cost of us, because it was just I'm fortunate enough to where I'm not rich, but I'm comfortable to where if I needed to put in a couple $100 or whatever to make a trip happen, okay, cool, let's do it, because I know the value, but in the same return, I wasn't getting value back from the veterans that were going. They were just getting off
Mhm.
the boat and going like, hey, thanks for the free trip later. There was no like, hey guys, check out what he's doing. Like, if you're a veteran, check this out. It was just they dipped out, and so it was like, well, what am I doing? Like, there
Yeah.
needs to be some type of exchange here. You know, I'm not monetarily,
Yeah.
but come on, give me some support.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a bummer to hear too, but sometimes, actually a lot of the times, that that just I don't know, I don't want to call it entitlement, but just that weird approach to free uh can sometimes look like that, to where it's just like, all right, cool, I got something for free, and that's it.
Not understanding the work that goes into, and I drive 100 miles towing, because I tow the sleigh day down to San Diego. Ryan
Hmm.
only lives like 10 minutes from me, and so I'll go to his house, I'll pick up the boat, and then I'll go to San Diego. That's 100 miles one way.
Yeah.
And I showed up one day and all veterans canceled on me,
Oh.
and I'm down there at 6 a.m., which means I left at 4. Right, so I'm like,
Yeah.
oh dude, I can't. It was taking a toll on my mental health. You know, it got to a point where I was just like, screw everybody. I don't care
Yeah. Is
what your
this
title, I
is
don't
this
care what you
something
call
that,
yourself.
yeah, if it's not
Yeah.
mattering to everybody, why am I making it a point to matter to me? Right?
But
Right,
you
right.
did mention it earlier. You're like, that little bit of skin in the game it does add a slight importance to that event now. Uh, and it's wild. I mean, it can be a very small monetary transaction, but it just means something different. And that goes back to the mental health aspect. It's not necessarily mental health, but it's how we perceive the difference between free and even a dollar value.
Right. Well, see, I had before, there was a captain or a charter captain or a charter whatever you want. Yeah, charter captain. Who hit me up. He's like, "Hey, I got a day and a half trip that I would love to give away. Can you post it and find a veteran that wants to go?" I'm like, "Oh, for sure." I post it. I couldn't even give a day and a half trip fully paid for. All you had to do was show up, your meals, everything was included. And so finally, at the last minute, I called the dude up and I'm like, "Hey, man," I said, "I can't find anybody. I can't even give this away." I said, if I have to, I'll be the veteran." And he was like, "Well, I was hoping you would have just taken it from the beginning." And I'm like, "Well, that the whole point of this is to pass it on. I can pay for my trip. I can go buy a seat on my boat. I'd rather give it to someone who normally
Yeah,
wouldn't have gone through to do something like this." And then up until the last
absolutely.
moment, someone contacted me and they're like, "Hey, I'd love to go if it's still available." And I'm like, "Shh,
Yes.
gone."
That's
Yes.
awesome. Yeah.
So it's hard. It's really hard to give stuff away. And I've talked to other like guys who are nonprofits, and we're a small business. I pay taxes. I have a way that we finagle things where we are able to write things off as business, and thankfully I'm paid as a content creator from Instagram. We've been monetized for almost 3 years now, and so
Congrats.
basically because of that, now there's a lot of things in my life that I can write off as being a social media influencer,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which I think the
But
title is
hey,
stupid.
yeah, you know it, there's a lot of trash content, and as a person who can doom scroll very quickly at the end of the day, you come across it a lot. However, those people, there are some people who really enjoy what they're doing and their craft, whether or not it's fishing or something else. But you can see it in their videos and or just posts in their Instagram in general. But absolutely, it's an interesting term, and it's a new age term for sure. It's not like we
Right.
had social media that long ago,
Yeah, I
so it's
miss
still.
MySpace.
Dude,
Let's bring
I
it
had
back.
an
Bring back
entire playlist on
MySpace.
there.
Hey, no, but I mean, you're funny, dude. You're like, you have some like, I'm like, how did Dustin come up with this, man? Like, you've had some really cool videos. Like,
Well, they're coming back. They're coming back.
Love
They're
it.
coming
Love to
it's
back.
hear
like,
it.
dude, your white guyo, your white, what is it, white guyo? The
The
white is
Gallo,
it white
yeah.
guy? Oh
Yeah.
man, that,
Gallo Blanco.
that always had me rolling. But it's for a bigger purpose, right? Like what you're doing is for a bigger purpose. People might see it like, oh, it's just, but it has a purpose, right? It's funding a lot of things for you that you're helping other people out. And I see it. I
Yeah.
see it. I
It's
talked
just
to you before, and it's cool to see, man. Like
it's cool
how
to get the messages where people are like, "Hey man, I love coming to your page just to laugh, right? I know I can come there and find a laugh somewhere, you know."
yeah.
And I've been posting a lot of the boat videos because
You're the
I
new
get
hey, I hear through the grapevine you're the new qualified captain.
You know what's funny is he's been in my DMs too. He's asked me a few times. This whole social media thing's crazy. I've had ridiculousness contact me. I've had
No
Channel 2
way.
News. Yeah, I've actually I just get hit up the other day by ridiculousness. Um Qualified captains hit me up and he's like, "Yo, bro, where are you getting these videos from?" Like it's been kind of cool, like and I guess I'm not bragging about it, but I feel like it's like a badge of honor. We just got a cease and desist by Bass Pro Shops for my
No
that
way.
for
No
for my that
way.
yeah, for that's my ass bro stop.
Dude.
Oh.
So I said, "Take me to court. I'm not backing down." I said, "There's nothing in that design that represents Bass Pro in any way, shape, or form. There's no
Yeah.
font, the colors are different, the shape is different, the fish is
The
different,
fish is
the
different. The
verbiage,
way the fish, yeah.
everything. Everything's different." I said, "Let's roll." So we're waiting.
that
I'm waiting to hear.
That's hilarious.
that's the first time I'm seeing that, and I absolutely
Wait, that's
love
the
it, by the way.
that's like,
Oh, you've never seen
dude.
that?
Oh,
No, I have not. That is hilarious, and I love it.
See, there's a bunch of stuff you probably. What about the OnlyFins? Have you seen that one? The crappy content.
Yeah, I have seen that one.
Then I got
Dude, I can't.
the curves right.
Heck yeah.
Hey, that's your hat right there, Daniel. You're all about the Coors.
I am about Coors. Dude, Coors
Um,
Banquet all day.
So
dude, I
yeah, it's
cannot
just
believe.
we're going through our little stuff and having fun, but yeah, it's I feel that social media has kind of gotten stale, in my opinion. I feel that there's a lot of confused and lost people out there that basically turn to social media for some type of guidance now because no one can create something, no one can think outside the box. I feel like everyone's like feels like they've already thought of everything, and now it's just like, well, what do we do?
Yeah.
How come no one's challenging themselves anymore, right? How come no one's standing the broom up and seeing how long it'll stand up or dumping water on ourselves? Like, what happened to those days?
Cold ice water,
Yeah, the ice bucket challenge and
the
stuff
ice
like that.
bucket challenge.
But that
You
was for a
know,
cause, though.
It was for a
yeah,
cause.
it was.
Yes, it
I
was.
think it raised, I want to say like $1 billion,
A
like
lot of money.
something. Yeah, like something.
ALS. That's what it was.
Hmm.
ALS.
Yes, it was for ALS. Uh, and I mean, I just heard it recently that it was like $1 billion. So it was a
Rob,
great cause for
reeling
everything.
in, reeling in B said, "Bring back planking."
Oh heck yeah, dude.
Is he on here right now?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is.
What's up, Rob? Hey,
Dude,
man,
I messaged I
he
messaged
sent
him
me some
before we
funny
hopped on.
pics, right? He has one of our green performance shirts. It's the green camo shirt.
Yeah.
And so it shows him hiding behind this skinny tree, and all you see is his back and then his belly, right? And then he pops out like, "Here I am," like he was hiding from it. So freaking hilarious. That dude is comedy. I love that guy.
Yeah, I made sure. I was like, Rob, Dustin's on today. You better hop on, man. He's like, oh, for sure.
Rob
And
has
he's out of
been a
Missouri.
pretty big
Yeah, he did
support
move.
for a
He
long
moved.
time too.
He moved.
So thank you, Rob.
Um,
Appreciate you.
so you're gonna have a live. Your live is coming back, right?
I
We
think
did
it's
talk about it
more
in the
considered
beginning,
a
but
podcast.
or your podcast. Sorry, your podcast
Yeah,
coming back.
podcast. I'm
Um,
gonna start doing lives again, though. I felt like the lives were beneficial to people. I felt like once you like my buddy he does a TikTok live, and he's literally built a community of people that come there almost every day at like 7 p.m. just to hang out because it's like a sense of relief, like, oh man, I get to look forward to this and come in and interact, and then someone interacts back with you. It's like people, even if someone's lonely, right? If someone has no friends sitting at home, they could come to the live and not have to be heard, be seen. They can just literally make a comment, and now they're part of something that they're going to get a response back.
Yeah, and that's why we like the live format of this show in general. Just because there is a lot of interaction with the comments. Somebody can ask a question, and we go, "Oh, that's a great question. Let's pin it. Let's ask it. Let's dial it in. Let's break it down and all that stuff." Which is something that we like, and listening to you talk in just your passion for what you're doing, a lot of it has to do around that community, which is where these live shows kind of are, is building that community, establishing it. But also, if you want to jump in, chit chat for a second, you can absolutely do that. Because one of the things that we try and foster here is, community over competition. So there's a ton of different competitions out there. A lot of people host them, and hey, they can be absolutely fantastic. They can be great. They can foster skills and promote uh, growth in a lot of different aspects, especially in fishing. But also, there needs to be a time of rest in that community to where it's just like, no, dude, we're just here to shoot the shit and just have a good time and not feel like you have to win or be over somebody, but be together.
Do you think
yep.
that like I remember pre-COVID because I got into the whole fishing community end of 2018. Bart Hall, or Fred Hall, I think back then it was pre-COVID, so it was Fred Hall in 2019 was my first like experience with all the fishing world, and this was the deciding factor of am I gonna start what I want to start, and I wanted to see if there was anybody else there doing this yet. And when I didn't find that, I remember I was actively in the fishing community up until COVID kind of just killed everything.
Everything.
And I remember pre-COVID, man, there was always get-togethers, there was tournaments, there was pop-ups, there was
That's how me and Daniel met.
everywhere. Yeah, stuff everywhere. And then now you look at it
Yeah.
and it kind of feels like everyone's doing you do you, I'm gonna do me, and there's no cohesiveness. I don't feel like in
Yeah.
the community anymore.
There,
Or you have your groups.
yeah, I was about to say there's a lot of different cliques,
Yeah.
and sometimes that's environmental, that can be distance based. Like LA from San Diego, there's a huge fishing population in San Diego, and there's a huge population in Los Angeles. Sometimes we don't really mesh. It's not like there's a lot of people going down to San Diego and there's not a lot of people coming up. But with social media, since we've been talking about it, those barriers are not necessarily there anymore because everybody is just a couple clicks away from a conversation, to where I don't know if the community gathering aspect has gone away or if it's changed to an online basis.
Well, that's what you see now more, right? Everybody's doing these online tournaments, like, oh, sign up for this online tournament, no meetup, right? And that's why you go to a tournament, because you want to see your friends, right? Like, you want to see people, right?
That's like going to Taco Bell, bro. I don't want to order off a kiosk. I want to tell you what I want.
What I want.
Okay, I don't want to have to.
Gordita.
I don't want to have to plug it in myself. That's what I'm getting at. Is we've gone to even as parenting, right? Even as parents, we'll be like, "Yo, hey, Dad, how do you do this? I don't know why. Did you look it up? You got a smartphone, right?" So we've all gone to kind of this instead of we need to get back to that interpersonal, like when I go to a restaurant, I want the waiter to talk to me like, "Hey, how's it going? Hey, what's going on, man? What's your name? You're serving me my food tonight. Like, I want to, like, this is a personal thing now. Let's get intimate."
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
And that's the fun thing is, like, especially with all the seriousness going around. So we host an event. It's called Glizzy's at the Ramp. It's supposed to be just as silly as the name is. We go down, we populate a ramp, we go out, we fish, and then, you guys come in. I'm making hot dogs for everybody. And just chit chat.
You had me at Glizzy's, bro.
Yeah, dude. And I probably eat hot dogs once a year, and it's at Glizzy's at the Ramp. And it makes me laugh every single time because I just go, because by the time we schedule it and get it up, I'm like, man, I'm itching for a hot dog. Like, I don't think I eat enough hot dogs a year.
But Dustin, the cool thing about it is, everybody's been like telling us, and I've said it on a couple other episodes, why aren't you guys throwing tournaments like for this, right? Like, do a tournament. No, because now you're going to come out for a tournament. You're not going to come to hang out. You're there for a purpose, right? You're there. Oh, I'm going to see if I could win this tournament. No, you're coming because you want to hang out with the people that are going to come, hang out, have a hot dog.
Because they want to eat a hot dog with.
Yeah, right.
That's
You're there for the camaraderie, like to hang out with everybody.
But that's gone though. That's the thing. That's the problem is most people, that's gone. Why? What happened? Why is
COVID.
it so hard to get people out now to say, come out, hang out with us, bro? Like, I think people have gotten so comfortable with sitting at home, being lazy, knowing that they can order food, DoorDash, Amazon, eBay, everything. Hell, weed delivery. You can get your weed delivered to the front door. I mean, you can get anything you need delivered. You ain't got to go nowhere. So why should I come out? Oh, I got to drive 45 minutes. Oh man. And then the excuses come out, and it's just, man, I remember people used to drive all over the land to come out and visit. Arizona, people would come out to tournaments and hang out because people they enjoyed the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's something that we want to bring back in general. Like, I love the idea of a boat launch takeover. It's just so much fun. I mean, we pull out grills. We basically just throw a large tailgate party, and we open it up to whoever wants to come. Like, hey, come on down. You don't have to fish. You don't even have to be a fisherman. Right. I'm making hot dogs. Like, I just want to chit chat with everybody and have
bacon wrapped hot dogs, regular hot dogs, big old hot dogs, small.
I want like LA dogs though. You do like the
LA
LA
dogs.
dogs.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
LA
what I'll
style
do.
hot
Little
dogs,
12-inch
man.
hot dog. But
When do you
that's
guys
the
do that?
fun of it.
Um,
So we do it once a year, just because it's turned into an actual event, and trying to do it a few times a year has gotten into a lot. So beginning of the year, I want to say in between January and April is our window of opportunity right now. But it's
well,
I'm
still to
in.
be determined.
March is PCS.
Yeah.
March is PCS, so
Are you guys doing?
March is
Are you guys
hard.
going to be there?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
should
so
be there.
there's a handful of vendors that is going to have Dahlin baits, now Fish RX baits, which is cool. Performance Tackle, LA Fishing Alliance, and Tackle Supply. Those three will have Fish RX baits. I'm currently working on stocking
Waterman's
up for that right
Waterman's
now.
will have your stuff too, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if Waterman's going to be there. But if
What?
Grant, if you are
Yes,
going
he
to be there, I
is.
apologize. Is he?
I think he is. Yeah.
Okay, well, and Waterman's. So come on out, because it's going to be a lot of fun. But you're going to get your slugs, your paddle
We plan on
tails. I'm
being
going to
there.
have
Oh yeah.
everything going.
I was just gonna ask you. Are you gonna be at PCS?
Yeah, that's the plan. I got to hit him up and see. I don't know if there's boot or spots still left, or if what's the deal. But yeah, that's if there's spots left, we're gonna register. I got a
It's
lot
a
of
cool
stuff coming
event,
up,
man.
dude. We got a
Huh?
lot of stuff. We're doing for the veterans trips. We're doing bow fishing now
Nice.
Ooh.
out at Lake
Talk about
Paris.
that. Talk about that.
I linked up with the chief of Ranger Services or Park Rangers and over at Lake Paris, and he was like, "Hey man, I want to take you guys out on a veterans trip when I don't know if it's spring or I know nothing about it, so I can't sit here and talk about it. But I think he said spring. I think the water has to warm up. They come up to the top of the surface, like to spawn or something, and then that's when you're just carping it up.
Boom.
Um, he said it's unlimited. There's no limits because they're invasive. So if you're killing carp, you're doing something good for the lake.
Yeah.
And basically you just go out there shooting. So I'm gonna go out there with him, do a couple videos, try to get some type of hopeful help. Not I don't call it a sponsorship because I don't expect anything for free, but if I can get stuff at cost, that truly
There
helps,
you go. Yeah.
and get some bows. And then I have a buddy who purchased a couple Cessna planes, and we're going to be able to provide a 1 hour flight lesson for a veteran or first responder that's interested in getting their pilot's license.
All right. Well, that is extremely extensive. Uh, so you're building this empire. Is there other things that you want to add to it, or are you just kind of playing it by ear? Like, hell yeah, like yeah, I want a plane. Yeah, I want a bow fish. Yeah, I want a boat. Like, it seems like right now, no pun intended, the sky's the limit, and you're kind of already reaching it.
Yeah, we've already done skydiving trips. We all dressed
I
up as
remember seeing
superheroes.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we dressed up as superheroes and jumped from 14,000 feet. I've done zip lining trips. We've done camping trips up at mountain lakes. Uh, I try to put people who've never been, and I guess you guys can relate to, but for guys who are in the military, there's this certain type of bond, this daily activity where you walk around and you just talk shit all day. It's fun. You're slapping each other in the nuts. Like it's just a fun that I take us back to active duty days. That's what I try to create is a day of you get to separate yourself from this normal everyday. Because what's hard is when you get out of the military, I get to wear clothes just like everybody else. But
Yeah.
while I'm in, I got my uniform, has my rank, has everything, patches. People know who you are, people know what you've done over the years. But then you get out and you got to start from ground zero. You're a nobody. You are
Yeah.
basically starting from scratch. And I don't care how many years you did, I don't care what you did. When you come out here, you feel like you should get that respect, but at the same time, no one respects you because they don't know who the fuck they don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And so it's hard. It's kind of hard to transition and accept that, damn, okay, well, I guess I got to just start from here. And so I'd like to get us together. And that's the point of these trips is to get us out of this element of because family takes over the wife, the job, the bills. all of that takes over priority to you. And so if you can break off from a day and go enjoy this at a half off cost, or our last fishing trip, we paid for 3 veterans, like fully paid for them. And then there was other people that donated spots too. And that's what's crazy, is because we get more support from people that have never served than those who do serve or have served.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people see the value in like, right, the mental part of it, right? Like, maybe, yeah, these veterans deserve to go out and spend a day doing whatever activity is being provided. It's important, man. Fish. I'm talking about fishing specifically because that's what I do, right? Or that's what we do. But going out, even if you don't catch a fish, man, like, I love going out regardless, right? My wife's like, how can you be out there so long? It's like, because you lose yourself.
Right.
It's true. You lose yourself, man. Like, not in a bad way, right? You're not out there losing yourself, not knowing what's going on. But for one day, you're focused on one thing and one thing only, right?
Right.
And it feels
Everything
good,
goes
man.
out the window. Yep.
It feels good.
And that's what I love about it. And I almost compare it to like so when you're getting ready to deploy, right, or you're getting ready to go on some type of mission, you do a workup, you're preparing, you get all your gear together, you do checks, you do it's almost like a routine thing that when I've seen guys go fishing, do they have like this whole military regiment that they do, almost like a workup and a buildup, saying like, oh, I'm going on a mission right now, like, bro, it's about to happen. Like, I've seen the
Yep.
amped upness. I felt it myself, like, and especially like when you get to the dock and you see all the homies and you're high-fiving and then all, dude, oh, whoop, do it, whoop it, and then all of a sudden they're like, my thing is when I hear my number called for that breakfast burrito, that's when I know it's kicking off, right? But
it's just
having
like
said
that.
though, I realized that I'm not an offshore fisherman. I'm not. I'm a bay queen, bro. I'll take the heat. You guys can come at me all you want. I am not. I love the fact, and I've gotten into striper fishing lately. I'm going Thursday with Guppy's Fishing Adventure to Castaic Lake. I'm hooked on that. I'm hooked on all of that, all on that lake, Pyramid Lake. I'm hooked on it all, bro, because I can get on the boat and in 3 minutes I'm fishing.
Yeah.
Hey, T say he sleeps with his rods. He stays ready.
You gotta stay ready, dude.
Man.
What's up, T? Welcome to the live, man.
Everybody has experienced this, like what I'm about to say, in some shape or form. But the excitement the night before,
you can't even sleep.
Event, yeah, you're like tossing and you're turning, you're all giddy, like
clock
I can't
watching.
wait to wake up. And you just
What
can't
time is it?
sleep through it all.
You put like 12. You put like 12 alarms.
You got your outfit laid out like the first day of school,
right? You know what
absolutely.
you got. You got the socks. You got the pants. You got what shirt you're gonna wear. You got your hat.
Yep.
You know you're tying up your line. What line you're gonna use? What you're gonna throw, right? And then you get to the spot, and it's like, and you're with your friends, or you're on a boat, you're on a dock, whatever you're on, right? And it's like, what are you throwing? What are you throwing? You know?
Right.
And everybody's throwing different stuff and trying to figure out the bite. And when somebody figures out the bite, hey, this is what they're going on. You're there together, right? And when you fish alone, where you got to figure it out on your own. But when you're with people, it's a cool feeling, man. To be on a boat with Daniel said this before. It's a different feeling to be on a boat with somebody for 8 hours, man. Like, to be on a boat with somebody 8 hours.
Both ways though. That's both ways though. It's good and bad, because I've been on a boat for 8 hours. Like, get me off this boat, man. Get me away from these dudes. Like, I'm done. I gotta go. This ain't working out. Like, nah. I had a dude drink
see,
what's the next one down from a fifth? When I had my boat,
a pint.
He drank that a pint. He drank a pint of Jack all the way from Long Beach to Catalina.
Slurring.
So we get there, man. I was like, yo, you need to jump off we anchored up. I said, jump off the boat, bro. You need to cool off a little bit, dog. So we just sat there, and he just jumped in, swam around a little bit, came back. He's like, oh, he's like shivering and stuff. He's like, I think I'm good now. But there's been moments, because there's a lot of times, like, I love booking the whole boat now. I love chartering the whole boat. And then just like right now, I was going through my numbers for my June 27th trip, for our veterans first responders trip. I got 21 spots already filled. Nice. And I haven't even announced yet. What I do now is I offer it to those who just went, because we have a great group of people on our trips now. I offer it to those who went. You get to go again, first right of refusal, right? If you can make that date, it's a $50 deposit. Leave your deposit, you're good, you're locked in. If you want to co-sign for someone, and you want to invite them, then you can bring them on board. But if they mess up and then the group says no, they're not welcome back, you're off too because you co-signed for them.
Yeah.
Like I'm making these trips exclusive, but at the same time, I'm holding 5 spots. So where we can choose, we're going to provide those free to a veteran who actually deserves it. Not just because you're called a veteran, not just because you served, not just because you want. No. I want someone who's going through a bad time right now. And if I look at your Instagram and every other post is you holding a fish, it's not for you, man. There's nonprofits out there that will take care of you, and I can guide you to those nonprofits. But for what we do, nah, it's not going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But if you guys wanted to go, you could. Like, you could go. You just have to pay the full price. So I think it's like for a full day, I'm charging $200, and that comes with a freaking trophy. Everyone gets a trophy that says your support makes this happen, right?
Nice.
And then we had this last trip, we had so much sponsor swag that everybody got to go around twice and grab. So everyone got hats,
I love
shirts, like, yeah, it was dope. So
Where do you guys usually go?
It's on the Malahini out of H&M.
Okay, so it's out of
San
San Diego.
San Diego.
Yeah,
Okay.
San Diego. Yeah. And I'm thinking about doing one San Diego, one like maybe Long Beach, because I know that which would make it fair, because a lot of the people that I want to go on this trip don't even have a way to get down to San Diego.
Yeah.
So if I could, so maybe this year I might do one on the Malahini for June 27th, or it's the Friday before 4th of July. And then maybe I'll do one like on the El Dorado out of what is it, Berth 55 or something. Or I just like the El Dorado because they got a soda machine and they got the crushed ice, bro. I'll sit there all day and just
Dude, there's something about crushed ice that it
hits different.
It just quenches the thirst differently.
especially on the water.
Oh, when you're slightly sunburned,
While you're on the water,
it's
just different. It's just different. It's just very different. No, but and that's cool that anybody can go, right? And
Yep.
I thought this whole time it was only veterans, man.
No, I even so if
cool.
you went to the website, like I even posted it, and I got to do a better job. I try not to flood the page with like, hey, help us, or hey, guy, but it's almost like you have to, because if you don't put it in people's faces, it doesn't exist, right?
Yeah.
And so I have to do a better job at that, and I'm coming to terms with I do have to flood the page with, if you want to go, it's open to anybody, and I got to be the camera more.
If you post a story right now and it erases in 24 hours, I bet you could post that story again and people will still like it, right?
So funny story. So when people ask me like help for social media and stuff, like how do I get views? How do I do this? I recycle so much stuff, bro. I will openly tell you. I tell everybody I recycle everything. You don't know what I posted 3 weeks ago, let alone you don't know what I posted 6 months ago.
What's really funny is I know what I posted, and so I posted these really cool rigging pictures. Like I posted a few of them in a row, and people will hit me up. They go, "Hey, what do you do for this? What do you do for that?" I'll scroll through my feed, and then I'll send them that picture. And I'm like, dude, I just gotta redo this. I gotta do I gotta do an updated version of basically
just post it again.
Post.
Yeah,
just post it again. Oh, see,
yeah,
I just posted again. I just literally. So my the one where the dude was drunk and I did the Gobble 3000, right? Where the guy was all like, and the first time that went around, I mean, it got probably like 4 million views. 6 months later, I posted it again. Dude, it hit like 50-some million views. It was shared across platforms, and that's where I got
57 million.
Bro, it was ridiculous. There was so many views on that video. It was stupid. Like literally. So at the Last Tackle Express, a dude came up to me and he was like, "Man, you look familiar." And I was like, "I don't know, man. I do social media and I take veterans. I don't know what to tell you."
Where you saw me?
Yeah. He was like, no. I just shared your video yesterday. He pulled it up and he shows me that he sent it to his buddy. And I'm like, yeah, that's me, bro. And he was like, bro. So he's like, would you do a video for my buddy? And so I was like, what's his name? And I think his name was Mike. And I'm like, Mike, why aren't you here, bro? You're missing out on all this. But
See
recycle.
that?
Nobody. You get new followers, right? So no one
Yeah,
knows your old
that's what I was
content.
just gonna say. Yeah, new people watching your stuff.
And it's just like for us as like as a small business, right? Same as a clothing company. There's a lot of guys that are like, oh, I'm gonna come out with this design, and then they get rid of it. And it's like, well, nobody even knows who you are. No one knows who I
Yeah.
am still. I'm a
Yeah,
nobody. I'm a nobody in this game. I'm a nobody, bro. I'm literally like microfish. And why would you get rid of a design if nobody even knows it exists?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's like it's in our heads, we think that we have to do these things to keep up with the times, not knowing that all you got to do is go, you created a product. Now all you got to do is go sell it. Because how many people did you sell it to? Oh, this many people. Oh, you think so that deserves just to retire that design because you sold 1,000 pieces? Nah, go sell 1,000,000.
yeah.
How many people are in your city? You know what I'm saying? Like if one person in your
Yeah.
city bought one, you're selling millions. What?
Yep. Very true.
Yeah, no,
Very
But
true.
we got a lot of stuff coming. I'm excited to get out. But yeah, the fishing for me, it's all been mental health. It's all been mental establishment. And I've come to realize that I am, like I said, I don't call myself a fisherman. I enjoy the art of fishing.
the cool thing is you bring so much more with you than just being a fisherman, which is, an experience along with it because, as you're growing and you're doing all this stuff, it's like it's crazy to hear what you have done and then what you're expecting to do and how you're going to grow and what else that you're going to add into it. But the nice part about it is it's because you're not just a fisherman that you can offer all these things and you're like, yeah, I want to go ziplining, I want to go skydiving, I want to have a Cessna. So it's cool because it's not just fishing. You get to bring other aspects in, which helps out a lot of different community people or people in the community. Not everybody likes fishing.
That's
So
why exactly why I went that route. Because when we first started this, it was, do you know what DW stands for?
no.
Let us know. What is it?
So DWCC is Dixie Wrecked Clothing Company.
Okay.
Now say Dixie Wrecked together.
Oh, Charlie, you can say it.
No, I'm not gonna say it. I already said it
My
like 3 times in my head.
No,
my
I
my
got it off the bat.
my slogan is never easy, always hard. Right? So I'm that undercover company that does what I do and everybody loves it. And I openly tell like Dixie Wrecked, like that's the name
Well,
of the so
well,
we've been
a lot of your designs have like in insiders, right? Like inside jokes.
you mean
And
like that
just
one?
knowledge.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
main one. Um, but it's something people like, right? And
I try not to make it too and I know the shocker's kind of but here's the thing about the shocker. You either know what it is or you don't,
yeah, if you know, right?
right?
Absolutely.
I had a mom message me and she's like, "Oh my God." She's like, "I need that shocker hat." And I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Cuz I just seen all these parents out there and they're all like, yeah, with their kids cuz their kids were doing it, not knowing like what that
What it really
meant." Like,
meant. Yeah.
yeah, they were like, "Yeah."
I think
So
I'm like,
as a social media guy, do you remember that time where that Eminem song went viral, but it's basically like his ejaculation noises, and then everybody on social media was using it to like suburban moms were using it for because they don't know
okay,
what it is.
yeah,
Oh my
yes.
gosh. And so I'm sitting here like flipping through and it's just Eminem coming on with, his ejaculation noises. And it's like over the most like wholesome video of like their kids and stuff. And you're like, no,
So
no,
innocent.
no.
So
Yeah.
innocent.
And it was just so bad. My wife fell victim to it. She used it because it was a trending sound. And I looked at her, I was like, do you realize what this is? I had to inform her, and she's like, nobody knows.
I can't. I
Right.
I
can't.
was like,
And
I
that's
know,
it.
I know.
That's been the funny part of this whole journey is I've had people message me years later. They're like, I just got your business name. I cannot believe I never knew. I never put it together. And I'm like, yeah, it's always been like that. It's never changed, right? But that's why I changed it from Dixie Wrecked Fishing to DWCC Dixie Wrecked Clothing Company. So now it
Yeah,
wasn't just fishing. I got to open it up to whatever I wanted to now.
which is
Yeah.
great because that helps broaden that community out. You know, like I said, not everybody likes fishing, but at least with this, I mean, the aspect of you being like, yeah, if you guys are looking to, you know, test out your flying skills to see if you want to get your pilot's license, that's crazy. That is like so far beyond my comprehension because I'm like, oh, I'm narrowly focused on fishing right now, and you're like, nah, dude, like I got Cessnas in my backyard right now. It's crazy. It's so
Ready for
cool.
you to go.
Yeah.
And same thing with the bow fishing too. I'm going to open it up for those who support because what that does is I feel that it bridges a gap in between the veteran and the non-veteran. So then they can see and they can hear stories, they can converse, they can talk about life, and then that they can hear how this changed them because I've seen how people have got on. There was one time I had to pull a dude to the side. I'm like, hey, bro, are you okay? Like, are you good to go on this trip? Like, because you're kind of making me fucking freaking nervous. And he was like, I'm so excited. I don't know how to act right now. And I'm like, so
Yeah.
you're good? And he was like, oh, I'm more than good. I'm like, oh, let's get on the boat then. Let's roll. And
Yeah.
so that it
That's
was.
awesome.
So I've seen
But
how they've shown up, and then at the end of the trip, they're just like, they're just a completely different person.
I think that's what makes you want to go back, right? Like you want to see that all the time on somebody,
Yeah,
you know?
but it hasn't happened lately for the fishing. That's been the problem. It's been
Mm.
I haven't been able to find new people. And has that been on my I have relied on social media a lot. I have. And now I'm getting back to I just had 1,000 flyers printed and I'm hitting the streets again. I'm gonna take it back to the old school days of see, I remember back in the day before internet, right? Where I had to go and search for a job where that I had to look for in the window, it said now hiring, accepting
Yeah.
applications, right? I'm going back to those days where I'm just hitting the pavement. I'm shaking hands. This is who I am. This is what we do. What can we come set up here in your parking lot? Is there an
Yeah.
off day where we could come here and maybe use my social media presence to try to bring some business in for you at the same time, help us raise money, So just and my biggest thing is the community. If I go to the grocery store,
Oh, do we
Do we
lose him?
lose him? Oh, bummer. I have a sideball question that I've been thinking about. Well,
Let's see.
it is
Let's
it
wait
is
until he
becoming
comes
that
back.
time right now. We'll give him a second to come back. So how was that? How was that sand bass you caught? You dirty girl.
Dude, it was crazy because I like for once I threw light again, And oh, there he is.
Three.
all right,
There
can you
he
hear
is.
me?
Perfect.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, when you're gone. So close.
yeah.
He's probably
So
getting a phone call right now. I should have told him
yeah.
to be on Do Not
Are you
Disturb.
getting calls?
Check, check.
There, you're
You're
back.
good.
Yo,
Can you
yo.
hear us?
Hear
Can
me.
you hear us?
We got
We can
audio
hear you.
problems.
Can you hear us?
Reload it.
Go off and come back.
Yeah,
So
that will fix it.
yeah,
I
man,
have a question to ask him. That's why we're
it
gonna keep going right
it was pretty cool, man. He hit me. He hit me, and it was very subtle. It was a very subtle hit. And
now. Dude,
when I set the
those
hook,
big bass
oh
hit so
my gosh!
lightly.
When I set the hook, it was on like rolling. I'm like, it's a sand bass. But then when it came up, right? I was like you said when we were talking, I was like, it's a spotty. Oh my
Dude,
god, it's a big one.
my sand bass turned and I swear I saw spots. I was like, this is the biggest spotty I've
Of my
ever
life.
seen in my life. I was so excited for it. All right, welcome back to the show.
Oh, we got it figured out.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
I should
Oh,
have warned you that you probably want to go on do not disturb because if you get any phone calls, it's going to jack everything up.
oh,
And
that
now I'm
was
going to take
crazy.
adding that into my speech beforehand.
Oh, I apologize to everyone. Sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. That's the beauty of this show. It's live, it's raw, and we get down to the meat and potatoes. I, again, after throughout this whole conversation, I had new questions pop up, new trains of thoughts. One of the things that kind of just hit me right now is when you were talking about that gentleman and his just that feeling of not knowing how to act. Is that is that imposter syndrome something that you see in veterans coming back over
Oh, it's common.
and
It's
trying
very,
to
yeah.
restart their and
Oh, most definitely.
It's actually
and
called the
it just kind of
imposter
clicked with
syndrome.
me. Yeah. So
What
it just clicked with me with
can you talk about
when you
that?
were talking about that gentleman. So I was like, oh man, like that's got to be just such a hurdle to get over in general because I mean, like you were saying, you have your suit, you have your badges, you have your rank, you have everybody knows what you are, they know you, you know them, and then you come over back into civilian life and you're a nobody, and that's just got to be rough.
Do you think a lot of the like and we all have some form of depression, right? Little, small, big, whatever. But do you think that's like that transition stems like brings up that depression?
Well, everyone has a form of PTSD, right?
Okay.
Everyone
Maybe that was
thinks
the
that
right thing to say. Yeah.
yeah, everyone thinks that PTSD is military related, and it's not. Have you
Hmm.
ever witnessed a traumatic event, right? Have
Yes.
you ever seen something that sticks in that is PTSD. It's just a different form, right? There's different forms, different levels, different, and then some people handle certain things, right? I could see, I could see an arm get blown off, and I'm like, oh damn, that sucks. You can see it get all, you're like, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's everyone reacts to situations. Someone sees blood, someone sees a car accident, someone sees a movie. Some people can't even watch movies because they're like, oh my God, I can't watch that, right?
Yeah.
It's everyone has a different tolerance of what they can handle and what we consider PTSD. A lot of it, I think, is what we continuously tell us, the story that we repeat over and over and over. And there's different things that we can that people hold on to certain things, but the imposter syndrome is just not knowing how to act like he wanted to show so much excitement, but we get programmed. And once you
Mhm.
get programmed, you don't know how to emit certain emotions anymore. You don't know how to love because you become same thing with police officers. I say this all the time that police officers get so much under credit because though that's the only type of job where you're deployed every day
Every
of your
day.
shift. You're not,
Hmm.
you're not on base kicking it. Like, let's just kick back today. And no, no, you're deployed. You're on the streets. You're out outside the wire every single shift. And so, at what point do you say like, yo, you might need to take it back a little bit? But the thing is you get hardened.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of times that like say a cop will look at someone, and if you just meet the criteria of the normal person that they arrest, then they're going to treat you as such until they say I get judged on my neck tattoos, my hand tattoos, and then all of a sudden people start talking to me, and I'm like, bro, I'm not a criminal. Like,
Mhm.
I just
Yeah.
this is art, man. This is just art. I've been retired and I got this shit because I just don't care. I want to get the whole rest of my neck done. And but it's you get judged because they get hardened and then they profile and same thing in the military and these guys come back and they're so used to being shit on not only by the enemy but even by their own superiors. I
Hmm.
mean, there's and then they lose trust in everything and then what I feel is they just lose love and trust in themselves, which then snowballs into everything else, not trusting anyone else, not trusting the doctors. And then you go to the VA and they want to hype you up on medication, and then you go back because you had a side effect and now you got like a third nipple, right? And they're like, oh, okay, we'll take this medication to counteract that medication, then this might cause this. So come back if this happens, and then we're going to give you medication for that. I was taking 23 pills a day trying to
That's a lot.
trying to balance out, right? And then every day I would show up to my wife a different dude because I would wake up every morning different. I wasn't the same dude because I didn't know how to act. I didn't know how to be. I didn't know who I was supposed to be. And it took a lot of work to get to this point where I'm at, to where I can finally help other veterans and say, you might want to try this. I go around talking at the posts or American Legions about veterans benefits. I
That's
retired
cool,
from the
man.
VA. Yeah, I worked at the VA for like 5 years, and I have a retirement federally from them on top of my military. So I
The cool.
know planes.
Yeah. The thing with all of this is that you bring that experience into your business, and it's not just like, oh no, I read about this in a book somewhere, I'm book smart and I'm here to help you. You're like, no, I lived it. This is what I've done. This
Right,
is what I've experienced. This is what helped me, which also might help you, but we also have other outlets that might be more specific or that can be catered to you and help.
right,
Again, we were talking backstage. My wife's, moving over to a therapy position. That's something that she's super passionate about. So she's moving into a full time, or trying to right now, move into that full time. And just the little that we interact as, husband and wife has been huge mentally. Uh, so it's like, every day I just go, this is what I've done. And so, you strike up conversations and you just go, this is what I've done. And this is, something that you might want to just take into consideration. It might not help
right.
you, but it might plant that seed that will get you into the next step.
But
Well,
that's something that we have to consider too, especially when we've been through situations and we put ourselves to help somebody else, right? It's very impactful when you talk to somebody that's going through the same thing you're going through, right? There's something about it, man, that connecting with somebody that has been or is going through what you've been through, it comes with a responsibility, right? Because certain things you can say can really harm somebody, right? Because it worked for you, like Daniel said, it worked for you. Doesn't mean that it's gonna work for the next person. Doesn't mean that it's gonna work for the next person. The way you approach somebody when you're talking about like what you're going through and what I've been through, making sure that that person understands that that situation is very different to me than it is to you, can be like a big difference, right? Than just to be like blah 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 blah, right?
well, it's better than going to a hospital and
One
seeing
hundred
a
percent.
doctor in a white coat who's never served a day in their life and is literally just collecting a paycheck, and they ask you how your day is, right? It's like it's we. I try to provide that where it's just like, man, you could just open up to me. There's nothing being written down. There's nothing being recorded. But I think one of the biggest problems is think about this: is I was addicted to opioids for 8 years. I got started through the VA. I was getting 180 pills a month and was still having to go on the streets and buy more, right? um I didn't know I was addicted. I didn't know I had a problem because I was getting issued pills by a
Prescribed.
doctor,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Up until the point where my little brother overdosed on prescription medication. And when I lost him, I remember putting that pill on my tongue and I instantly felt better without even swallowing that pill. As
Just
soon
because,
as that
yeah,
happened, I realized that I had a problem. That I realized that was there was an issue. And once you realize that you have an addiction, now it's a choice, right? I think there's a huge argument on addiction about is it a disease or is it a choice, right? I'm on both sides of the fence because I don't think it's a choice when if you don't know it's a problem. And a lot of these veterans don't know that they have an issue. They think that that's normal. The way they're acting, they don't see the problem. They don't see that as being an issue. They see it as, this is how I was trained. This is how I was molded to be. This is who I am.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you don't realize
Well,
you have a problem, how can you come and ask for help?
Hmm.
that's a
Yeah,
that's
you
a
don't know
big
how
part of
to.
it too.
You don't know how to, and that goes with everything, right? I think that goes with everything. Um, Illnesses, addictions, anything. If you're not ready to accept your own problem, you can't ask anybody for help, right?
You
Well,
can't get help.
there's a big range to where it goes. Shoot, I just had the word. Not acknowledgement, but awareness. If you're just not aware, then you don't even know how to ask the right questions that can help you. So half of it is knowing that there could be or there might be something wrong and figuring out the words and the feelings behind that, which comes with just openly talking about it, in which could be a conversation like this, or like, oh, like, what's up, oh, how are you feeling today? Whoa, you talk about your feelings? That's crazy. Wait, what? You don't talk about your feelings? That's more crazy to me than me talking about my feelings.
Right.
But just experiencing those things and having that awareness that exists can help build those blocks into, oh, I need to start asking this question. I need to ask this question. Oh, these kind of compare, so on and so on.
See, I've had the phone calls too about guys wanting to retire themselves. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not the guy to call when you're
Mhm.
going through that, because I will tell you flat out, I'm gonna go get the Slate A boat. I'm gonna come pick you up. We're gonna go launch a shelter or at in Long Beach right there, South Shore. And I'm gonna take you 30 miles out. I want you to jump and I want you to drown. If you really want to go out, I'm gonna be fishing on this side, bro. Jump off the other side and let me know how it works out. I
Yeah.
guarantee you that dude's gonna climb back in the boat. He's gonna get warm. We're gonna talk. We're gonna do some night fishing, and then we're gonna come back, and then the next morning we're gonna have some coffee. That's the type of dude that I am. Is if you want to do it, I'm gonna be there with you. Go ahead and drown.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm gonna sit there on the boat. I'm gonna be fishing, be jigging, trying to get some late night fish, some supper, and then when you come back on the boat, because you're like, man, that was dumb. Yeah, exactly.
It's tacos for the way back. Tacos
That's
and
it.
talk for the way back.
That's it. I'm not the dude I've been there before, and I've been in that situation, and I understand it. But at the same time, if you're calling me, telling me you're going to do it, there's nothing I can do to stop you, because I'm not going to. You're telling me you're going to do something. So I mean, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to come pick you up. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it with me. So we're going to go out fishing.
Yeah.
Let's go. We're going to go on the boat. Jump. I'm gonna be over here. I'll wait for you.
Yeah.
One also being 30 miles out is terrifying. 'Cause that's when you
That's what
stop
I'm saying.
seeing. That's when you stop
You don't see
seeing.
land. You don't see anything.
That's what I'm saying. You ain't gonna see nothing but faint city lights or something, right?
Nothing.
And now all of a sudden shit's running through your head like, the fuck, man, I can't see what's in the water right here. Like maybe I don't want to I heard a thing on a podcast one time. I forgot who it was, so I can't exactly cite it, but he said a guy called him and said the same thing. He said, you know what, I ain't got time for this. Call me in the morning. Let's talk about it. And the next morning, the guy called. He was still alive. And he answered the phone. He said, what's up, man? He's like, oh, you're still here? He goes, yeah, you told me to call you in the morning. He's like, all right, dude, I'm busy today. Honestly, call me tomorrow morning. So after the fourth day, dude was still here. He said, hey, what happened? And then they started talking. Then you open up into, I love asking questions of why. Why do you feel
Yeah.
that way? Why do you think
Open-ended
that way?
questions. Yeah.
Why?
Open-ended
Why?
questions.
Yeah, some people are like, oh, I can't go to concerts. A lot of veterans, oh, I can't go to crowded
Loud.
places. I can't go to And I said, why? Do you go to the mall? Well, yeah, I can go to the mall, no problem. Wait, so you can go to the mall, but you can't go to a concert? Well, it's what you're telling yourself. What happened at this concert? What are you saying that's going on that could possibly happen at this concert that makes you feel safe at the mall? Let's dive into that. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, I can't answer that. Well, shit, I don't know why. Well, now that you
Mm.
asked me that, I'm going to a concert now. It's like,
Yeah. It's a lot of that goes back to awareness of just asking those questions of why and those comparisons, but understanding that there is, a result that can be had out of sitting down and talking with yourself.
well, we can all do better. I mean, let's just
Yeah.
let's just admit it. We can all do better. It's so there's so many people that are out there just for themselves, and so many people that don't realize if you just put 1% each day, just give 1%.
I love where you're going with this. This is my like motto, by the way, but continue.
Just 1%. Imagine you're gonna be what, 36 times better by the end of the year? Okay, so you have a couple off days. You're
Mhm.
34 times better? Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, But everybody gets into this programming mode of what I call the heartbeat of life. It's a rhythm. It's you wake up every day, you think about the same things you thought about yesterday, you go and do the same job, you travel to work at the same time in the same lanes, you see the same people, you come home in the same time, you see, so it's just a routine. And next thing you know, 30 years goes by and you look back and you're like, where did the time go? It's because you were a zombie in robot mode. There's no using this to come out of this and shake the tree a little bit. I love using that term, shake the trees. Get all the dead fruit off. Let it go.
I like
Get
it.
rid of it. But we could do better. And so if we just, instead of trying to be one for one, just try to help somebody. Ask, hey, how you doing? If you see someone
That's all it
struggling,
takes.
you don't have to give them money. It doesn't have to be monetary. It's like, it's like, hey, when's the last time you ate, bro? Like, honestly, like, fuck, I haven't eaten in 2 days. Like, all right, let me get you a burger real quick. What's a burger going to cost me? Nothing. I don't need to post it. I don't need to share it. I don't need to nothing. Just, hey, bro, this is humankind. Like, I don't know what you're going through, but I got you on a burger, dog. Like, I'm not tripping, homie. Like, let's do it. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because I sure am. You know what I'm saying? Like,
All right, Dustin.
No,
We've gone a little bit over, which is 100% my fault. I opened up a can of worms, but there also is no time limit on this. We appreciate your time. I do got to get going home, but I just wanted to say thank you for hopping on. I appreciate it. Is there anybody that you want to plug other than DWCC?
oh shoot, man! You got Stay Bent. You guys, of course. iRod has been a huge supporter of what we do on our veterans trips. T from Fishaw, man, much love, brother. You know I love you.
T.
Unjustified Clothing
big shout
Company, and
outs.
then all of the other companies that have supported us throughout this journey. The list goes on. Fishing Armory, and I feel like I'm at the Grammys right now, and I just won an award. So, I just want to
You
thank
did.
you all.
Hold it up. Hold it up.
Oh, hold on. Let me get this one too. I just want to thank you all for the
And the
support.
winner,
And no,
the
I thank you
winner
guys for having me
is
on, man. This was cool. I really appreciate
Nah,
the
man, thanks for hopping
opportunity.
on,
And
Dustin. And
yeah,
I know in the beginning, real quick, I know you talked about you know, people reaching out to you. You have resources aside from like stuff that you can do, right? Are you a good like you do provide resources like numbers and places people could go for help if they're
I have a
veterans?
I have a Rolodex. I mean, like I said, I retired from the VA. So not only do I have contacts in the VA, I have contacts out of the VA, nonprofit people that I work with and know. Um, people's wives, and I have psychiatrists and people that I can help out at any point in time. But all you have to do is send me a DM. I respond to every single DM. I don't care how many followers we get. I'm always going to be the one responding. So send me a DM.
all
Awesome.
right.
So
I love it.
if you guys watch this, if you're watching this live and you made it this far, if you're not watching this live and you made it this far, and you know somebody who needs help with resources, Dustin's your guy.
Or
So
if you're a
thanks.
spouse, that's a big thing that we don't talk about. If you're a spouse that has a significant other that's going through certain things and you need to know how you should deal with certain things or how to
That's
approach
a good
certain
point.
things, reach out to me because that's a topic that's not discussed.
You're
Awesome.
right. That You're right. I got a bunch of stories on that. How it affects spouses. A lot of people side on one person in that relationship, and then the spouse, however, which
Oh,
side
that's just Johnny. That's just
is.
how he
Yeah. Yeah,
acts.
that's how he
Yeah.
is.
No, it's bad. It's really bad. So if you're a spouse, any questions, reach out to me. I got you.
All right. Much love.
Sweet.
Thank you again for your time today. You guys,
Guys, if you
appreciate
guys
you.
stayed this far, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. Dustin, again, thank you very much for hopping on. And guys, what fuels it all is our love for fishing, but also, like Dustin says, helping people out
Our love for the
one day at a
community.
time. Love
Exactly.
it.
Appreciate you
Peace.
guys. Later, man.
Peace out. Thanks, Dustin. Thank you guys.